this is a competitive industry, and sometimes you're going to have to compete against other really awesome agents. So as long as you're doing everything that you can, you're trying to see how you can best serve the client, you possibly have certain things in common and you're communicating well, put it out there that you're going to be the winning agent. Put it out there that they're going to sign the listing contract with you. And also realize that if for some reason they don't, it's nothing personal.
Good morning. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Jenny Woon.
My name's Toni Singh.
And welcome to In-House Podcast. For those who are returning, we thank you so much for your commitment and loyalty. And for those who are new, thanks for tuning in and checking out this episode. Today, we're going to talk about how to be the real estate agent that people choose when they're interviewing multiple agents.
This is such a fun topic.
So you and I are always in this situation, are we not?
It's common. Would you say that it's more common now than before? I mean, it's always been a thing.
It's always been a thing. I would say in where I am in my business, it's not as much as a big deal because my clients are clients that I've been working with in the past, or they're a very warm lead. And in that case, they trust their friend or family member who referred me. And so I don't have to compete for that listing.
Because there's already trust. There's already trust from the referral.
Yeah. And now I'm not working so much with like cold leads or anything like that. So even if it's a first-time client, we've bonded through very like intimate conversations. And so they already trust me because they know like who I am personally.
But it makes total sense. But this is a common topic out there for a lot of agents, right?
Yeah.
Especially new agents, I guess, because they have to get the business. And sometimes that requires vying for the business by competing with multiple agents.
And so going into our first, what I was thinking as well, how people choose, which is what I just said to everyone, that typically a client, a buyer or seller, we share similar like hobbies or interests. And so the passion about, for example, I was in a public speaking conference with Lucas. Okay?
Yeah.
And there was like maybe, I think 15 other attendees who signed up to do public speaking for over a course of 3 days. Myself, and there was another woman there who we really bonded about meditation.
Oh yeah, that's such an exciting topic.
About meditation and our style of delivery was a little bit more like softer and about connectiveness, about mindfulness, about spirituality.
Did she become a client?
She became a client. She bought.
Yeah, congrats.
Right. And now, like I've attended her Monday sessions. She holds meditation sessions for half an hour online. And through that, we just connected really well with a sense of just a unique bond that we had about wholeness, about mindfulness.
I love that.
And so that created no reason for her to need to go outside of that to interview another
You're right. So
agent.
Shared interests or hobbies as a great way of not having to compete with somebody who's interviewing multiple agents because they're going to choose you. Yeah, I've had that happen before as well. I guess like there's lots of other agents too where, if they've got other hobbies like gardening, cooking, rock climbing, jujitsu, those are really good places to meet future clients as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
What about cultural or linguistic compatibility? So what's an example of this?
I would say there's some agents at my Oakland office where I could sense they have a very strong second language, or maybe it's their primary language before they came to Canada. And their Spanish, it's rolls off their tongue. And I said to them, I know you're new to Canada, to BC, and I know you're new to real estate, But if you leveraged your videos and used like Spanish integrate into your videos, and even another agent, Persian and Farsi.
Yep.
I bet you there's going to be, I know that you may narrow down your audience, but those are going to be your initial sphere of influence.
Lifelong clients and community.
And community. You're building community. And then from there, it just grows like organically and more wide. But if you got to start somewhere, you leverage your superpower, leverage something that nobody else has.
Absolutely. This is a new one, a new way of differentiating, I guess, yourself among other realtors. It has to do with technology. Have you tried this at all? They have like the augmented reality, I guess it's AR for property tours, drone or photography, that kind of stuff. Have you guys?
I have with developers.
Okay.
So not so much with individual clients. I would definitely say there are certain developers who they're I think their mass buyers would typically be like out of country. And so they're definitely pouring in thousands of dollars to make something look really, really real, like as if you're walking through the actual home. And so they're adding in all those experiences so that it makes it easy for the client to like not have to fly across the world to buy a property.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
But yeah, I know we're talking about how to make an agent choose you. So in this case, for developers, there are so many projects out there. How can you be in the forefront with somebody who's buying from overseas? And so by adding in as many tools as possible on your website, or whether that be partnering up with other tech companies to cross promote, I think that's really useful as well.
I mean, I could see it working as well for multi-million-dollar listings as too, right? Like the really luxurious ones, because you're adding that extra component for people to be able to see what the property actually looks like.
Yeah. And so when I'm doing my listing presentation, so this is, again, maybe just a one-off one, I'm showing my client, these potential sellers, these are the videos that I'm creating. It's not just a walkthrough and video clips all clipped together. The Matterport, which is so cost effective, is as if you're walking through the home, but virtually. And Matterport is no more than $500 to $600 for that video. And you can actually stand in the room, turn the camera up, turn the mouse down, do a 360 in that room. I think it really does gain a powerful impression when you're trying to give your listing presentation.
That's actually a perfect example of our recent guest that we just had on, Eric Preston.
Yes.
He just said, show, not tell.
Of course.
So you're showing them the Matterport, and it's basically selling them on the fact that, you're differentiating yourself from the competition. I'm going to list my property with you or a development site.
And guys, it doesn't cost too much for you to spend that extra money to showcase your property. It will go a long way if you can use that over and over again in your presentations, that you're using this particular tool.
I mean, I've had it happen quite often where this is actually the next way you can differentiate yourself, but environmental or social consciousness. So what happened recently, I actually recently met an amazing newer client, like within the last year, but where we aligned was with a lot of the social consciousness stuff. And it's so funny when you bond over something completely unrelated to real estate. And then it's like, oh, by the way, I'm looking to buy or sell this property. Can you help me? Well, yes, I can. That's exactly my area of expertise. But I felt like in that scenario, the bond was so much different because we were so passionate about the other issues that's what actually brought us together. And there was already the trust. And then real estate just seemed easy. Yeah.
So what if you are, if you're going into the interview knowing that there's multiple agents, how should you go into that conversation about some sort of like other than listing your home as a topic, like as a discussion?
You can. The thing is, I don't think there's necessarily one specific way of doing it. I think that if you're competing against multiple agents, you also have to read the room a bit too. So you could think in your head, maybe I'll say something where it's aligned with these potential sellers, but You also need to be clearly actively listening to see where you can either share that information with them or just differentiate yourself on based on what's important to them, right? Like you wouldn't say something completely irrelevant. If they say, for example, that, communication is the most important thing, then show them how you've had a successful dealing with a recent client where clear and effective communication actually helped facilitate the deal. But yeah, I mean, you definitely could. Of course, you want to create trust. And one way to do that is creating alignment with the client. Yeah.
Right. Do you often like to go first or last, or
I don't care.
Do you ask that question?
You know what's funny? So I'm going to say it because it's our podcast. I might get heck for it. But honestly, if we're competing, it's pretty rare for us now too. I mean, we do a lot of, I still like to door knock. So sometimes we are competing because that's a new face, right? Where they didn't know us before. But we have a lot of past clients and referral clients as well, where we don't have to compete all the time. I actually kind of like competing for the business. And when I go in for the presentation, there's literally no attachment. Like I'm not worried about whether or not I'm going to get it. I assume that I will get it. And if we don't, it's okay.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's probably a better fit. If they pick someone else, we're not meant to work together.
Right.
Yeah. But I wasn't always like that when I was a younger
You're
agent.
trusting the process, which I love.
Yeah, I know you love this. What about things like white glove service? How white glove service are we talking here?
Over the top white glove.
So tell the listeners what we mean by.
Yeah. So there is, remember back then, there was no foreign buyers ban or anything like that. So I remember there would be agents picking up their clients by the van full. So they were the whales. Offload from the airport. They would, service them, bring them to breakfast. It'll be a full on tour of properties, including presentation centers with developers. And their purpose for this trip was to buy property. And that wasn't just van trips. That would be helicopter rides, taking them on.
I mean, that's costly and expensive.
That's called the white glove service. Absolutely. And who knows how many times that can unfold in terms of deals, because maybe you're going to be reselling those one day. Yeah. So you kind of have to take that into account. But even helping them get their PR cards, helping them with immigration services, you have to have the right partners in place, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that is a full concierge package, in my opinion. Like, I think a lot of clients just want kind of like a one-stop shop. So in a way, it helps them for a peace of mind that their agent is taking care of all of this. Their agent, maybe the food, the transportation is eaten up by the agent. But I think at the end of the day, there's probably some sort of, between the group, there's probably already some sort of, not ego, but intention that they're all going to buy something. Because if they came on the trip and then one didn't buy, they probably would feel like left out that they didn't buy because if they were the only one from the group who didn't.
Very possible.
And it's probably about showing off money in a way.
I mean, I would say for those groups of people, yes, because it's also ingrained in culture, right? We're talking about specific culture.
And so I think if now we've walked into the home and we are putting our best presentation on, what are some handful of tips that we can give to our listeners?
I was going to ask you for your favorite one that you've ever used on a listing presentation or with a developer client when you were competing that landed you the actual exclusive contract.
Yeah. I guess maybe what I'll do is I will give my most recent experience.
A real life example.
Yeah. So I was competing against 4 or 5 other agents. Okay. And they were very, very open about that. And they would tell me these agents would come every week, give them donuts, take them out for dinner. Obviously, these sellers are taking advantage of all of that. And
interesting.
And also, I think they're also maybe well known in the community. Anyways, so I looked them up and what they did in their occupation. One of them is a specialist in like marketing. Okay.
Oh, you have something in common.
Oh yeah, we have something in common already. So, okay, what do you do for marketing? So I looked her up. Now I put together a 3-page marketing game plan. I had that ready to go at the first. I've never met these people. And actually, let me just rewind. So they were referred by my lawyer. So I guess my lawyer is like a friend of theirs. So my lawyer gave me the heads up. They're going to want, more than what the land is worth. And on top of that, they're already interviewing other agents. I said, okay, well, no problem. It's not new news. It's typical. Yeah. It's fair. So I went in, very first meeting. I think I impressed them with my 3-page marketing game plan. And I already had, a timeline. I reversed engineer it from the time we actually were to get the listing on the market, and then reversed it, backing up to, I'd say, about 45 to 60 days.
Yeah, that's good strategy.
Beforehand. And it worked. And so 1 week later, they told me they're going to interview one more person. Sure, no problem. They came to my office and said they want to use me because of my marketing plan, because they knew that their home was not just a home that's going to be posted on MLS. I actually had foreseen how it's going to roll out, and it's not going to sell in a weekend. So I knew it required a little bit more of an intention strategy. And I think I won them over with that.
So you've used, we discussed around 5 or 6 points. I can't remember how many, but you basically employed in that real life scenario the shared interests or hobbies. You did your homework first. You saw that you guys both shared the background interest of an interest in marketing, which is one of your specialties. Then you tailor-made a plan, right? Based on the fact that you knew that they were going to be interviewing agents and what would be important to them. Probably marketing would be a really important component to that. Yeah, that makes total sense. I could totally see why you won that listing over the other agents that they had out. It's actually pretty simple. Plus, you are an active listener as well, right? So I'm sure that on the appointment too, you would have solidified certain things in your conversation with them that helped them feel more comfortable in hiring you to do the job for them.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's funny? When we sat down the second time in my boardroom, I said, I will bring you something better than Tim Hortons. So I brought
Tim Hortons. Oh my gosh.
All these agents brought them Tim Hortons.
They want to know you could do the job. What'd you get them?
I got them the Gabby and Jules pastries.
Yeah, that's much
better.
So
I bought half a dozen. They took it with them. They ate 2 in my boardroom. They took the rest of the box with them. I'm like, okay, take all you need. Just give me the listing. I guess I just won them over with a bit of a deeper strategy,
Well, I think that the key thing here, guys, is this. It's like, this is a competitive industry, and sometimes you're going to have to compete against other really awesome agents. So as long as you're doing everything that you can, you're trying to see how you can best serve the client, you possibly have certain things in common and you're communicating well, put it out there that you're going to be the winning agent. Put it out there that they're going to sign the listing contract with you. And also realize that if for some reason they don't, it's nothing personal. Because I think sometimes I've seen agents when there's competition, I can see that some of them get very nervous. It doesn't have anything to do with your self-worth. So if you get that out of the way, you're good.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's a trick question.
What?
When they ask, are you busy? Do you say yes or no?
I say, you know what Eleanor Roosevelt said? Do you know the quote?
No, what is it?
If you need something done, give it to a busy person. I actually have used that before and they've signed on the spot.
Wait, sorry.
Actually.
Say that quote again. If you want something done.
If you need something done, give it to a busy person. Just say to them, you know what they say? If you need something done, give it to a busy person. Would you like to sign the contract? We're laughing about it, but it's simple, right? There's always things that you can
give to a busy person because that person is always busy.
Well, you're a highly productive person.
Yeah.
I'm a highly productive person.
Yeah. A lot of the clients don't want to sign because they think you're too busy for them.
Yeah, but that's why that quote works. Okay, fine. You could go another route as well. So for example, we both have teams. If you don't want to say the quote, you could go this route and say something like, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I appreciate the question. And that's exactly why I have a team of skilled professionals to help facilitate the sale of your home and the success of that for you. I promise to be there every step of the way, or whatever you're going to say, because it depends on how hands-on or hands-off you want to be.
Right.
But actually, we have used recently, because we have competed a few times, we've won. But one of the things
Using that quote?
I'm not joking. I've used that quote many times and it's worked.
Okay.
It's the simplest way. But sometimes if you're not going to use the quote and you explain, and you have a team and you're explaining the team, it's kind of like, it's actually the truth. All of our clients deserve the best service. I can only be in one place at any given time. And this is exactly why we have all of these skilled team members to help you. So that one of us is there every step of the way. And, they get it. They just want to be looked after.
Yeah. Yeah. So, just wrapping up by maybe just, again, we're just going back to the basics of connection.
Yeah.
Finding similarities, finding something that you really want to talk about, and just being your authentic, as we always say.
I know that's such a common buzzword.
I know it is, but it just goes back to so many people are wanting to be on social media and they get tired of it. You know why? It's because they're not understanding that it's a one-way screen, right?
Yeah.
So you're waiting for people to comment, or you're waiting for people to engage. It's not to say that there hasn't been successful conversions, because there's tons of agents who've closed between 20 to 50% of their business. And I would say I ask a lot of the agents who come and do videos at my listings what their conversion rate is, and they've been successful. That's why they keep doing it. But I think there's at some point, this emptiness of what is this business actually gratifying to them?
I mean, this is a deeper level conversation.
So, make it a choice, make it a priority to really connect in a wholesome way, so that your real estate experience in your career is more fulfilling.
I think that's the perfect place to leave it.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Till next time, we will see you again. Thank you.
Bye.